What was your husband's name?
James R. Meininger. Menger.
Yeah.
Good German.
Is that? I was wondering, is that German? Is that what that is?
Anytime you see an EI, chances are it's a German name, and the EI should be pronounced as a Y.
As a Y, okay. Well, I've learned something.
On September 14th, 1951, they was probing the ground. Now, the Koreans just covered these landmines with cardboard or cloth, what have you. A landmine went off and hit his upper left arm.
So that wasn't long after he'd been there then.
No.
He hadn't been there too long because it looked like he went somewhere early in that year, right? Around January or February?
January he went in.
And then by September
they was to take him to the first aid station, or the second first aid station, but the way he was reacting, they dropped him off at the first aid station.
So Jim was in first aid, still having his arm worked on, or fixed, or recovered.
Or no, he was probably being flown back to Oakland Naval Hospital.
Back to the States? Okay.
Anyway, the unit was overrun. All of them, it was killed except
What?
Ralph or Mitch Mickelson. Yeah, Mitch Mickelson, Van Nuys, California.
Huh.
Anyway, at Oakland Naval Hospital, this was at the time of Heartbreak Ridge up in the mountains by Seoul, and the military hospitals was overrun with patients. I mean, they was giving orders, lining up patients for the operating room.
Yeah, triage. They call it triage, where you get them in line.
Anyway, there was these two mavericks, young doctors, that found a room with a cot and put a cloth over Jim's face and cleaned up his wound. Now, they gave him a real good education. While cleaning up his arm, they discussed all the girls that they had met in Oakland.
That's where all the conversation goes on.
And that was probably the most fortunate thing to start with to happen to Jim, because the mine had been white phosphorus.
What does that mean?
That is a chemical that will keep burning forever, deteriorating the skin and destroying the nerves. It'll destroy the bone. You hear of the danger of landmines. That is what's in them. But he had already had infection set in, and they put it this way, it saved his arm, even with the loss of muscle and nerves in that upper part of the arm, but a very usable arm. Because he was dropped at the second first aid station, he was not with the group. He was listed MIA. His folks got the telegram MIA. When they located him, it was in a bed at Oakland Naval Hospital. Anyway, and he did not know anything about what happened to his company. He was, well, these guys in wheelchairs love to run into anybody that is walking. Here is a guy with a white turban, sees him and recognizes him and hollers, "Meininger, you're the luckiest guy in this world." It was the only survivor of Howe Company, Ralph Mickelson, his assistant gunner. Mitch had had a head injury, and they had put a plate in his head. That's why he had his white turban, as I call it. And actually, Mitch succumbed to his injury and never really got out of the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
But that was after he'd already had this conversation with Jim.
yes, that is the only reason that Jim knew he was the only survivor.
Wow. My goodness.
That Purple Heart group, to be part of that, if you are eligible for it, you know that that person has been through hell.
Yeah.
Goes back to the Revolutionary War. George Washington wanted to recognize 5 of his people, and that is where the Purple Heart started. Have you ever seen a Purple Heart?
Wow.
I don't
Could
know.
you hold that in the Purple Heart? Let me stand beside you.
Yeah, because I came to make a picture of you two, but to have the Purple Heart in that would be awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll wear it, okay.
I was sent to California, and that's where I was trained. Then on to South Korea, where it always seemed to rain. I was there about a year when they sent us on patrol to search and clear the landmines from some muddy road. And all I remember is hearing it explode, waking up to my buddy's face saying, "Man, that was close. You lost a lot of blood, and that arm won't be the same, but the medic says you'll be okay." Then I heard him say, "You're a lucky man to be alive. You came so very close, but somehow you survived. Now they'll send you home, and you're gonna be just fine, 'cause everybody knows no Marine is ever left behind." I spent months in San Diego in a naval hospital bed. One day I had a visitor with a bandage on his head. It was a guy I recognized from the unit I had served. I said, "How are all my brothers? You know I haven't heard a word." Well, it caught me by surprise as the tears filled his eyes. He told me about the battle, how we lost them all one night. A few months later on, I heard that even he had died. But I remember what he told me when he stood here by my side. "You're a lucky man to be alive. so very close, but somehow you survived. And now you're safe at home, and you're gonna be just fine, 'cause everybody knows no Marine is ever left behind. Well, they gave me a Purple Heart, and I gave it to my wife. And now I realize when I look in Ethel's eyes, I'm a lucky man to be alive. So thankful for my wife and the men who saved my life, and to live here in this land where freedom still abides. But I'll see them all again when it comes my time. It's one thing that I know, no Marine is ever left behind.